Once on a pod, Tony Pro Skater 2X. This time we're doing the 2X exclusive levels, Son of Club London. And just get this out of the way, obviously I do indeed have the Brady Games guidebook of Tony Pro Skater 2X, the rare as fuck one. And ultimately, even though I will go through these easy-ass goals, always 5, there are no gap checklists in this game when it comes to 2X and such. So, I did this. I'll be showing not only how many gaps there are based on the fucking book itself, but also the snippets of the book will be showing there as well as what you have to do in order to actually find these gaps and get them. Now, ultimately, I don't know why Treyarch didn't just, put a gap checklist for not only, the exclusive levels, but also the Pro Skater 1 levels. They don't have a checklist either, but I don't know. Treyarch decided to put the gap list in, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 into the game, but not 1 or 2X. Sure, what the fuck ever. But ultimately, because of that, I have to do this shit now in order for you to know where all the gaps are and what to do here. And it is fucking annoying. I'll say that much. It is really, really fucking annoying. And it took me a while to actually take care of this video and edit it and everything like that, so I hope you enjoy this as a guide, at the very least, because it's probably going to be the most comprehensive guide ever of this game. And by the way, by the end of this Let's Play, I will attach the full PDF file of my entire scan of the book. Literally every fucking page of that book is going to end up online for you to download and have a look at yourself. And trust me, it is legitimately the only official thing when it comes to any knowledge about these levels in particular. Because you're not going to find fuck all anywhere else. When it comes to the gaps of this fucking game, when it comes to the gaps of these exclusive levels, there's nothing out there to help you out except for this book. Which is insane. It's genuinely fucked up. By the way, 2X decided to go back to the tapes, so yeah, Pro Skater 1 and 2X are giving you tapes. And obviously there are 5 tapes here, so it's score-based, and the secret tape, and then the skate letters, and then like one other thing. That's it. Anyway, I'm going to this other room now, because this has 2 rooms. And by the way, this area, this entire level, has its own quote-unquote theme song that plays in the background when you go into the rave party or what have you. I'm not bothering to play it. Club London is not really, a great level, and I don't really give a shit about the music for the most part in this game, so, ultimately, I can't play it anyway, because I don't want to risk having copyrighted music play in between the original music in this one, so I'm better safe than sorry just keeping it muted. Anyway, I'm getting rid of the letters as well as the phone numbers that are around here, as that's a unique objective here. And for the most part, I mean, there's a fair bit out here. You can be called a cheater. You can be called a fucking cheater if you wanted to. But yeah, the digits and the skate letters and the score, the fucking, amateur and the pro, and, of course, the tape, the secret tape, which, by the way, this happens. The physics in this game get weird when it comes to these levels. Like, the 2X levels are genuinely the worst part about this game. Which you would fucking think these exclusive levels would actually be a unique, fun little thing. But I swear to God, there is not a single good level that Treyarch made in this fucking game. Also, some of the gaps just go away so quickly, so that was Perch. You can see it right there. You can also see it if you, pause the video at the split second it appears. That's going to happen a few times. And also, there are some gaps in this game that are just buggy and not good, not well programmed, and are genuinely bullshit. And I will show them off as well. This level has one of those kinds of fucking gaps where it's just broken and bad and shit and garbage and horrible, and I fucking hate it. But what can you do? Anyway, grind this entire blue rail on the wall here, and you'll be able to get the glow stick grind, which is nice. And, yeah, after that, I will then go ahead and do this, the front and center gap, except, even though the guide mentions it, it doesn't exist. I don't know why it is even mentioned if it doesn't exist. I don't know what I'm missing here when it comes to it. I'm sure there's something I'm just not privy to from the guide. Or, maybe the guy is just plain fucking wrong. It's Brady Games. They are known for not exactly being of high quality when it comes to their guidebooks. Or, if it matters even worse, they could be looking at an older version of 2X, like a fucking beta version or what have you, and getting the information from that. And so, this gap did exist, but then Treyarch removed it and changed it. And you'll see what I mean, because I will still get the max 45 gaps that this level has. I will still get that. Like, that's not going to go away. We're not locked out of 100% here, really. Even though, technically we are. No, even though I don't get, quote-unquote, all the gaps, because that one particular one won't unlock, there is a gap that the book does not mention, and that leads us up to 45. So, there's a lot of question marks here. The very first 2X fucking level, there's a lot of questions going on. And the save is taking for fucking ever. Anyway, Nigel is right the fuck there. And then you have these grinds over here, which you go around all three of them in order to get this next one. Ultimately, there are a lot of grind and air gaps in this game. There are some manual ones, there are some Litric ones, there's some wall ride ones, some goofy ones. But ultimately, it is dominated by air and grind, which makes sense. It usually is dominated by those two types. Sometimes manual gets its day in the spotlight, but yeah, ultimately, the other tricks, the other kinds of things you can do, I don't give much of a fuck about them. Anyway, ultimately there are transfers, like the Punk Gap. And there's also manuals, like this one, the BJ Dance Floor, or the Billy J Dance Floor. The guide will also get some names wrong. I will note them down when you see them. Sometimes they can't even fucking spell. But, yeah, ultimately, this is legitimately the entire thing. Also, it's a drop-down thing, tight drop. There's a lot of gaps that are closed in to one area, usually. So, if you're wondering, have I gotten all the gaps? Just go to, like, a specific area and literally do every fucking thing you can. Even if you believe it is repetitive and means nothing, even if you believe it is an entire mirror of what you've already done, do it anyway, because this fucking game is going to just actually make it a unique gap regardless, and be a dickhead to you about it. Now the good news is that compared to the Pro Skater 2 levels where you do all the gaps and you do get a reward for it, you don't get a reward for doing any of the gaps in the Pro Skater 2X levels, nor in the Pro Skater 1 levels. They give you fucking nothing. So keep that in mind, this is all optional. I'm getting out of the way for full completion in my way. By the way, this is a gap, but it's not going to unlock going that direction. This gap is one of those bullshit ones. It's called 1 of 4, and I genuinely fucking hate it, because the way I got it was jack shit. Like, genuinely was terrible. It literally required me to just kind of bug out the fucking game in a way, in order for me to land on the rail on the wall end, so that I can then do a proper grind from that end all the way through, because you can't do that the other way around, at all. You can do it from that floating platform all the way down, but you can't do it the other way around. There's no way you can actually get over there that way. So, I had to fucking do this. Now I can get the fucking gap. Now, I'm sure if you grind, like jump and then grind that very spot at the very end there, and then go forward, you might trigger it. I haven't tested it yet, but you might get it that way. I don't fucking guarantee it, because it's so picky. There are numerous gaps in this game that are fucking picky, and they're not fun, they're not fair, and they are glitched. Sometimes you fucking want to trigger. Like, this one took multiple attempts. All your base belonged to us. A fucking outdated internet meme gap. Like, that took multiple attempts to get, because it didn't want to fucking trigger. And by the way, you know how I mentioned there is a gap in this fucking level that the book never mentions? You are about to witness that right the fuck now. Grind this entire table, the entire thing, from the beginning to the end, go past the drink area and keep fucking going, and you will get bar crawl. I will actually do it again and land it this time. But this gap is not in the book. So, this leads to two questions. Either the one they mentioned beforehand at that fucking dance floor in the fucking, you know, the rap room, I don't know, that doesn't fucking exist, and this one does. Or, both of them exist, the other one's bugged, or there's something else to that, and there are 46 gaps. And if that's the case, who knows what other fucking gaps there are that are unknown to us. By the way, literally, Jack Hole and Hole Jack are the exact same thing, but you do in the opposite direction. As I said beforehand, there are going to be gaps that you'd think would just be carbon copies, but are fucking not. These levels are going to do that a fair bit. And I'm also going to make this very apparent right now. Treyarch may just genuinely have made a gap, like a whole fucking gap checklist thing, with one particular level that I fucking hate. Like, genuinely, that I do not like. And, to be fair, I feel like the same can be said when it comes to another level that we'll take care of way later on. Also, Funbox Hop, I will show you how to properly get that later on, which is why I didn't show it yet in the little, you know, countdown or what have you. I will show how you get that properly instead of that fucking bullshit weird way you just saw there. I won't show me landing every single trick proper, unfortunately, but I will give you a bit of a heads up on how you can potentially actually get this shit instead of how I pull it off, where, you know, the game acts fucking weird on me. And the game is going to act weird on you too, because genuinely, shit like this can happen, okay? Shit like that can happen where it's kind of unexpected and you just gotta roll with it. And unfortunately, sometimes the gaps do not trigger. That should have given me a fucking gap what I just did there. I didn't get a fucking gap out of that. You will see me do this again, and I will get a gap out of it. But for now, you just saw me do that, and I got nothing from it. Keep that in fucking mind, folks. Keep that in fucking mind, that this game and its gaps are going to fuck you around. And if you don't know the gaps without the fucking book, you're not gonna know anything with this. You're gonna think, I found all the shit, I'm done here. And all of a sudden, you fucking get the book and you realize, oh, I'm somehow missing 10 more fucking gaps that are near identical to shit I've already done, or I was doing this shit already and it never gave me them. And then that fucking happens. So, yeah, ultimately, I will do my best to show you everything. Oh yeah, here we go, Tampa. Tampa makes its very first appearance in 2X. Oh my god, this version of the fucking Tampa level sucks. I hate it. And it's not because the level itself isn't very good either. Like, you'll see why. But, the gap list. I genuinely feel like out of everything, Tampa, when it comes to what Treyarch did here with the exclusive levels, is the hardest of all the gap checklists. And I feel like it's also one of the biggest ones. Like, there are so many fucking gaps. It kind of combats a little bit. That happened. It kind of combats a little bit with Skate Heaven. That's how many there are. Like, right now, we're getting, like, 43, 45, you know. We're getting a fair bit. Also, you're supposed to jump down from that ramp down to the ramp at the bottom. But I got it that way instead. Keep that in mind, though. You get from the top ramp to the bottom ramp like that, and you get that fucking gap, no problem. There's top of the world. Now you know how that actually is supposed to work. Anyway, moving on. Here's a transfer. There's the tape. Good to go. There's also a crane here. Now, to be fair, I kind of like construction site in the fact it has interactivity to it. I like how there is this uniqueness to it where there is this sense of exploration that this level is encouraging of you. And I'll give it to Treyarch. This level is okay. It's not decent. It's still just kind of a fucking mess. I did get everything done though. But I will give it this. Not only is there a fair little bit here and there of creativity going on, but I like the exploration angle, where if you look around, there will be these boxes. If you touch them, they will break. Break all of these, and the crane will go down. Once the crane goes down, you can then grind it and get about 3 gaps out of it. However, and it's not mentioned in the guide either, but I know why, there are 2 unique gaps you can get if you don't do this and you grind the crane. I will show this. The thing is, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to act similar to, like, you know, the secret little messages in the American Wasteland DS game, where you go kind of in that weird out of bounds bit, and then you go into a hole, and it gives like 2 secret messages saying, this guy says do this. This has something similar. I don't know why there are multiple developers who have the same fucking idea of, like, having a hidden message set by some guy, but it exists, and I'm about to show you it. If you don't break those boxes, and you instead go for the thing, which, by the way, here's another gap over the bowl. Get rid of that as well. And I'll get this electric out of the way as well. Sorry. I should get the next thing. There we go. No, wait. Here's me getting rid of the fucking stairs. And then here's a grind I can actually get for another gap. Easy. And here's another grind. This is how you also get grind the rails. There are 2 ways to get it. Anyway, you can grind this in order to get the last grind up. And then comes the crane. If you jump up and grind this all the way without doing the box thing, you get Edith says, try the Transformers. This is the hint message of what to do here. However, they're both gaps. So I'm fucking counting them as gaps. And now here are the actual gaps you're supposed to get, which is wax on, no can defend, and wax off. Yeah, pretty basic, huh? Also, this is supposed to get wax on, but, you know, as soon as you do this, sometimes the game can get fucking dumb, like, the balance will stop working and your camera stays stuck. Anyway, that's it for the crane. A neat little thing. I will give Treyarch some bonus points for giving us that interactivity sort of stuff. That's cute, that's enjoyable, and it was kind of neat to explore around, break this shit, and figure this out, you know? It was honestly pretty cool. Now, there's also this weird bit. I'm pretty sure you do the opposite of ollie up to get that one, but you could just do that instead, and it works just as well. It's weird. Anyway, here's some transfers. You know, there's a lot of transfers going on, a lot of grinds going on, and a lot of them feel the fucking same, feel similar, don't really feel unique or anything. This one's unique, and I think this one is too. But ultimately, a lot of them just feel like carbon copies. And I want you to feel that way, because oh fucking boy, when we get into the goddamn last level of this part, which is Tampa, oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Anyway, here's me doing a truck stop hop. Here is me going ahead and properly showing the fun box hop. And then here is me going through and showing the pyramid hop. I mean, pyramid transfer. And then after that, after getting a bit weird about that little grind there, then we take care of this wall ride over to this grind in order to get the B2B wall ride. And then we take care of the fire escape thing, this bit, which gives us that for some reason. And we grind that for high flying rail. Sure. Then we get this thing. Yeah, you see, I did the same exact fucking thing, and this time it triggered. Sure. And lastly, a jump over there, get the high point gap. I bailed though. Let me do it proper for you. There you go. And one more gap for the road. Ladies and gentlemen, it's those that jump across this little bit here. Done. 45 out of 43. Now, if we don't count the message ones, that's 43. But they were coming up as gaps. I'm fucking counting them. Anyway, now we're going to Tampa. And Tampa as a competition is very easy because it's different to Fug. In the fact that in Fug, there was a whole city you can explore. There was a whole lot more going on. In this one, it's literally just the park. It's the fucking warehouse park in the very middle of the map. There's no boats. There's no club. There's no bridge. There's none of this other bullshit. It's just this. And it's only like this one indoor park and the outside bit. Not two of the indoor parks and then an outside bit. Only one. So, obviously, by level design standards, Tampa got a massive, massive upgrade in Fug 1 compared to this game. But even its gaps were far less painful than this. I mean, for starters, 56 fucking gaps. 56. I don't think it is, you know, more than Skate Heaven. I think it is very much under that. But it's still a lot of fucking gaps. And what's worse about this is a lot of these gaps are very samey. They're very samey. But there are 3 gaps in particular that are absolute dog shit. 2 of them are air gaps, and 1 of them is a grind one. The doorway. Doorway with 1 fucking... Okay. Anyway, when it comes to the grind one, it's an act of just patience and hoping the game gives you it. With the air ones, it is hoping you get fucking lucky, because even with max stats and the special bar, you are just fucking barely gonna make it. And in fact, the guidebook is even gonna tell you at one point to use moon gravity. Yes, for one of these gaps, the game is going to tell you to turn on fucking moon gravity. Obviously, I'm not doing that. Very fucking obviously, I am not resorting to cheating. I will get this shit done fairly. But it really brings into question, like, what the fuck with this guide, you know? And it gets worse when we get to Pro Skater 1, because I will know where the Pro Skater 1 gaps are for the most part and what we're supposed to get. But not only does the guide fuck it up, this game fucks it up with Pro Skater 1. You'll see why. But for now, the exclusive levels, for the most part, they suck. Tampa got a much needed, much better upgrade in Fug 1, and the other 2 levels are not really enjoyable. You know, like, Club London is just kind of obnoxious and meh, and then Construction Site, it has some charm to it, but ultimately it is just a nothing level. It's a forgettable one. Like, at best, the only comparison you can make for Construction Site is the fucking, like, the beta level from Pro Skater 1. You know that one fucking beta thing that I showed back in, like, way back with, like, the beta for Pro Skater 1? Yeah. That is the only thing you can compare Construction Site to. So obviously it's the best one. But it's not really a good level still. Doesn't save its ass to being a good level, really. And of course, Tampa, like, the skate park bit is neat, and there is a funny little thing here with this version of the level. There is a little comedy bit here, but ultimately, it's not much. Also, I'm sorry if some of the scans of, like, the gap list and what have you come up as blurry. I could have just cut the book into page by page and get cleaner cuts of the scans. I'm not doing that. I'm not damaging the book. Also, dog is just chillaxing a fucking drink and popcorn and what have you. The dog having a great fucking time. Anyway, here is me doing Heat 3, and then here is, you know, the audio desyncing because the video started to bug out a little bit, so the audio is kind of a bit fucked. I'm sorry about that. I can't do much about it. It will get fixed when we get to the gap bit. So, keep that in mind, I guess. Anyway. I really wanted to find something nice and fun and neat when it comes to just, you know, anything to do with the fucking exclusive levels of this game. But genuinely, I have nothing. Because pretty much there are no good levels. Treyarch did not make any good levels. They made a benchmark, the Tampa one, that would get way improved by Neversoft. And then they gave us, you know, a cute little one with the construction site. And hey, I just beat 2X. Now I got the Tony Hawk 1 career, and I get Skylines. I will do Skylines later on in another video, but right now, we're taking care of some gaps. First off, the Loop-de-Loop. Run the whole thing, get Just Win, baby. After that, you'll want to go ahead and do these grinds over here in order for you to get the triple highlights. And then after that, after you land the bitch, you then want to go ahead and just, you know, grind this bit all the way up to get the rope bridge crossing. Sometimes we'll actually give you it, sometimes it won't. Keep it in mind. Then just jump transfer these instead of grind transferring them for 3 different gaps that are all the same, except they give you something a bit different. And then there's Conge Ollie. That's the dog. Conge, I guess. Lost dog found. There's a bit of lore in the books. There you go. And then you got, you know, the bar hop, and then after that you have the lip tricks here, the Tampa half pipe. There's some manual ones here too. There's a few wall ride ones here, I think, like at least one. And yeah, there's a lot, and I mean a lot of grind and air ones. There are fuck tons, and a lot of them are out here. But there's also a lot indoors. You're gonna notice that the developers, Treyarch, they just really just ham-fisted so many fucking gaps in here. It made it hard to really, like, memorize this shit. And not only that, to make matters even worse, it's not fun. It's really not fucking fun. And it gets worse when you then get into the free X ramp gap and the number 3 gap, I think it was. Like, there are 2 air gaps, and they involve these fucking ramps here inside, where you got the 2X and the double ramp. It's triple ramp and free X. And they both suck. They require a lot of speed, a lot of height, and not only that, but just the exact right fucking angle and timing, and then just pure luck afterwards. Also, you can get up to here by doing that if you want to. You can use the fucking rooftop as well if you want to. But there you go. That's how you get vertigo, as well as a few other ones I'll show later on. But yeah, do a transfer here in order to get this one, you know, the standard stuff. And then make a big fucking transfer here to get ramp free X gap. That's number 1 of the free bullshit ones. Now, you can also bug out this one in front of me, where you get the double ramp, and then you just kind of jump at the very beginning, and it gives you triple ramp by just doing that, even though you didn't actually the gap proper. It's buggy, it's weird. You can also jump over a rail for a gap. Sure, game. Sure, fine, whatever. And there are also some gaps that are supposed to be transfer air gaps, but you can get them by grinding. Like this one. The yellow is supposed to be a fucking air transfer. Orange is supposed to be a grind one. Yeah. Anyway, if you do a double ramp and then you just go back and you sort of like edge a bit here, you can get triple ramp by doing that. Here's how you get triple ramp legitimately. Yeah, that fucking far. That's now 2 bullshit ones done. And by the way, triple ramp is the hardest one to me, and it's gonna be on my fucking shit list. So, good job, Treyarch. You made a very Shabba Games-esque fucking gap. Fuck you. I don't know why these developers keep doing this with the Tony Hawk games. I don't know why they can't just make some, I don't know, fun and fair fucking gaps. I don't know why they gotta put in at least one absolute dog shit based on fucking luck gap. Also, it's also a ramp to ramp grind. I thought it was a different one at first. It's not. But yeah, I'm sorry. I just genuinely do not like all of this shit, really. And by the way, what I'm doing right now is the third and final one. This is the grind one. You have to grind all of this shit and go in an entire circle. And you'll get double, triple fence grind combo. And now, you do this weird-ass grind to get the funky fun box transfer. Then you go ahead and do this giant-ass jump over here to get the flat ramp to ledge. It's a weird one. Then you go ahead and do this weird little jump to a grind for the Tarzan grind. Then you go ahead and you just, you know, you do this weird-ass grind for Tricky Gator grind. And you think you're getting close to done, because next up you're going to be going ahead and getting this specific gap where you have to grind over this way and go this way and then transfer over in order to get air rail to rail. And there's another gap up there as well if you go to that rail on the left, which I will show later on. But right there you go right from this one and grab that from fence to rail transfer. And then you do this fucking bit. You can do it this way, by the way. Yes. But there are 4 more. And the thing is, I didn't even realize I was missing 4 when I was recording this initially. So I went back to the game and I got them. Here's Canyon Glide. Sure. Here's one I should have gone. Buffet Gap. That should have been obvious to me. And then here's the wall ride one. Stair wall over. And lastly, here is grind this rail and then grind the fucking frog gap grind over there in order to get the rail to rail hop. Sure, whatever. We got all 56 and that is it. I could do Skyland, which is also a 2 exclusive level, but I'm not fucking doing it next time. Instead, next time, we'll be doing all of the Pro Skater 1 levels. We're gonna get all the shit done, because then we'll get our final 2x level, and then I can do that and Skylines at the same time. So next time, we are going back to the past. We're doing the warehouse, we're doing the school, the mall, the skate park in Chicago, downtown Minneapolis, downhill jam, fucking Roswell, Burnside, I fucking hate Burnside still, and streets. I will see you all next time. We will begin the first couple of levels all the way to the first competition next time. Thank you for watching. I'll see you then.